Hey, and welcome to So You Want to Be a Mermaid. Today we are going to be talking about weight belts, but I just wanted to remind you of one of my favorite quotes in case you need to hear it today. Always be yourself. Unless you can be a mermaid, then you should be a mermaid. But basically you need to always follow your dreams and do the things that make you happy. We're at the end of 2018. This is crazy. I've been wanting to make this video for a while. Little housekeeping items first. Please like and subscribe if you want to get my videos in your inbox. And also, we have started a Patreon account. You can get that link down below and at the end of this video as well. And if you join my Patreon for as little as $2 a month, you get extra videos, extra behind the scenes, discount codes, special merch that's given out only to Patreons. You get to be entered into contests and freebies and random surprises, early videos, and uncut videos as well. Everything on my YouTube is kind of edited down, and maybe just, to be a little correct within the community, it's a little less than maybe what I really want to say, but on my Patreon videos, I'm gonna say it all. So today we are talking about weight belts in the mermaid community, using them for while you are swimming. Into the actual logistics of using weight belts, I need to give you a safety disclaimer, and the disclaimer is this: weight belts are dangerous, so don't mess around with them. You should always have a trained person with you. If you don't already have scuba diving training or freediving training, please go out and take an introductory course. Intro to freediving is really simple, really easy. It's going to give you the basics of safety for weight belts. If you don't have those yet, please have somebody with you who does, somebody who is experienced with weight belts. You should never mess around with weight belts unless you have someone right there with you who can save you in the instance of an emergency. There are several types of weight belts that are really popular in the mermaid world, and I'm going to show you one. A lot of people like to make their own. You can see this one here. So this is made from a canvas style belt. If you flip it over, you can see this one is white, and it's got felt on the back to try to protect your tail, and on the front it's got seashells that are covering the weights. So there are some pros and cons to making your own weight belt. One of the cons is that you can only use this type of belt, and the problem with this type of belt, which you will learn when you're doing freediving, is that it actually, when you go deeper and everything starts to compress, this will actually expand and get loose, and then when you're swimming, it can actually slide around you, and this can be super annoying because your belt won't stay in place, and it can kind of like chafe on your skin, hit your boobs, hit your ribs, go down and hit your hips. It's not fun. But the thing is the alternative are rubber weight belts, and this stuff is not going to glue on a rubber weight belt, so that's where it can get tricky if you really want to have a pretty looking weight belt. The really good thing about this one is that it is a clasp. You want some kind of easy to remove option if you have to ditch your weight belt. And this is the thing, weight belts will run you between $50 and $100 depending on the cost of the actual belt and depending on how much you need for weights. And if you are commissioning someone to make you one, it may be a little more expensive because of the time and materials that go into that. Doesn't matter how expensive it is. If it is an emergency, you need to be able to hit that button and have that belt come off really easily. You need to be able to ditch it, right? The thing about weight belts is that they should help you sink, but they shouldn't make you sink. You want to be neutrally buoyant. I'm an extremely buoyant mermaid. It's my bubble butt. It just wants to float so bad. And when you put me in tails like fabric tails that are extra buoyancy already, I'm gonna float so bad. So having a weight belt really helps with that. And when you're first trying a weight belt, it can kind of be like a little exciting, and you want to have all this extra weight and you feel really empowered because you can sink. But you don't want to sink all the way to the bottom and not be able to get up. You're gonna have to ditch your belt, and if you're in the ocean or a lake or something, you're gonna lose it, right? So you want to start with just like 1 or 2 pounds and see what you need to be neutral. Neutral is if you hold your breath and you've got your belt on, you're just at the surface. You're not like 2 or 3 feet down, right? As you exhale, you'll probably sink a bit. And that's how I tend to sink a lot, is I need to exhale in order to sink. But if you're freediving or you're mermaiding and you want to go really deep, you need to be able to have all that breath in your lungs. So that's where a weight belt is essential, because you don't want to be giving up that oxygen. So anyway, this is an example of one that you can make. I got this from another mermaid, and she made it for me, and I used it for a while, but then I kind of found it problematic. As you can see, one of them broke here, and when it broke, all of the weights spilled all over a pool. So you don't want to have like lead shot. If you're going to make these, you want that lead shot inside something, not just like loose lead shot. Because mine spilled everywhere, it got in the pool, it was super embarrassing. I'm really lucky that they let me come back because I didn't realize it could do that. And it's really easy to break the shells. You just bang it on the side of the pool or something. Also, I found that because of all this stuff going on here, even though that there's felt on it, it did damage the waistline of my tail a little bit. What I would like to see is I would like to see tail makers make some belts, maybe out of latex or silicone, very similar to the organic armor style, and put the lead shot right in the actual cast so that you can't see it, but it's in there and it's like all sealed in, and your entire belt has like the weight distributed evenly. I think that would be really cool. So that's a decorated canvas belt. And just another look at what a regular canvas belt will look like. I've got Sean's Freediving one right here. So this is Sean's weight belt from Freediving, and he had a 7mm wetsuit on, so he really needed a lot of weights. But as you can see, it's canvas, and the tricky thing is as he went down, his neoprene would compress, and the belt wouldn't compress with it. It would come loose and slide up and down. But I mean, when he's just doing photo shoots and stuff and just needs to be able to look below the surface and not float away, this is perfect for what he's doing, so no problem there. These are pill style weights, and I think each one is about 2 pounds. You can see them here. They're pretty good, I like them. You can get flat ones, you can get square ones, you can get round ones, you can get beanbag ones. Beanbag ones are nice for putting inside tails, which we'll get to in a second. Here's a rubber one. Mine. It's missing all the weights because I took them off. And now the way that this one attaches, just like a belt that you would wear with your pants. So it goes in there like that. So if I have to take that off in emergency, it's a little bit trickier, but I've practiced it and I can do it. So I've actually sort of perfected the art of wearing one of these weight belts under a mermaid tail. So I'm going to show you a video here of me wearing a mermaid fabric tail. I'm showing you a fabric tail because I am the most buoyant when I am wearing fabric. And you can see me in this fabric tail. I can swim, but I'm really struggling with staying parallel because I'm just floating so much, and I'm not able to have a whole breath of air in my lungs because I'm floating so much. So take a look at what I look like. Now we're going to compare that to what I look like swimming with a weight belt on. And now here's the cool thing. I put this weight belt on and I hid it underneath my fabric tail, and you can barely tell that I'm wearing this. Check it out. See me swimming, I'm able to be much more parallel. I'm able to control how slow I'm coming up. And now let's say there's a case of emergency and I need to take that belt off. Watch how quickly I can get that off. There it goes. And I'm free. Pretty cool, huh? So one of the more dangerous aspects of mermaiding is people putting weights inside their tail. The tricky thing about putting a weight inside your tail is that you can't get it out in an emergency, and you can't get your tail off in an emergency. So I'm going to tell you right here and now, the only time our team have ever done this have been in actual filming situations where we have had stunt people on hand to help us and a safety or rescue diver on hand to grab us. Because once you put these weights in a tail and you hide them wherever you need to, in your hips, maybe down by your ankles in the fluke, as soon as you do that, you are increasing your risk. It's harder to get back to the surface, and you are going to sink. So you need to do that very, very carefully. And this is my big disclaimer that you should never do that without professional help. I like to use beanbag weights for that type of thing because then they don't really hurt, trying to fit it into your tail. And you can smooth them out and just make yourself look like you have a slightly bigger butt. So that is my video on weight belts. I hope you have found this helpful, and I hope you are getting that safety message. Taking an intro to freediving course or even just a try scuba course will definitely teach you more. There are different workshops at dive shops where you can learn how to make neck weights, and neck weights are a totally similar thing but still very different and different to use. Freedivers use them a lot. Mermaids are starting to adopt them now because you can make them look really pretty. For me, I haven't used them yet because my weight balance problem is not here, it's my booty. So I need that weight on my booty in the tail. Having it here, all I'm gonna do is go down head first. It's not gonna make a difference for me, but a lot of freedivers find it extremely helpful, so you can check out dive shops to learn more about that. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe, and check me out on Patreon. Thanks, and Merry Fishmas!